Today, folks, we have an intruder. An intruder trying to infiltrate my running shoe rotation, something we runners hold very dearly. The intruder is the Nike Vomero 18. Now, something you need to know about me, and Nike shoes in general, to be quite honest, is that I haven't really ever gotten along with them. Their daily trainers, not my favorite at all. I find them too narrow, I don't find them very exciting, except for maybe the Nike Invincible Run. The original one is the only one that I've ever owned. And since that point, I've tried the Pegasus, I've tried a couple of different ones. I think I've tried the Zoom Fly as well. Did not like it at all. So when the Vomero 18 came knocking on my door, thinking it could find a spot in my running shoe rotation, you know, the thing that I hold as dear as my young 9-month-old daughter, that's a joke, obviously, but the running shoe rotation for us runners is our tool. And because I'm in the middle of a marathon block and I'm relying on my running shoe rotation to get me through those harder runs as well as my easy runs, with all that in mind, I decided that, you know what, I might have been a little bit too harsh on Nike daily trainers. Over the last couple of iterations, apparently, things have changed and Nike has changed their way. How about we put on the lights behind us and interrogate the Nike Vomero 18 to see if it can actually gain a spot in my running shoe rotation. There we go, that's a little bit of a happier environment, but that does not mean that you're off the hook. This is a serious interrogation to see if you're worthy of gaining a spot in my running shoe rotation. Let's get into it. So I guess before I can really interrogate this guy and figure out if he deserves a spot in my running shoe rotation, I need to kind of outline and kind of make my expectations clear of what I'm looking for in a daily trainer. Now for me, I am someone that has multiple running shoes, as the cabinet behind me might tell you. So I don't need my daily trainer to act as like a speed day shoe, an easy long run shoe. I just need a daily trainer that's going to be reliable for those like 5-mile runs that are kind of just like whatever. I don't have a specific purpose. I can just throw a shoe on and feel comfortable underfoot. But I'm someone that, okay, I'll just call a spade. I like a thick one. I like them super thick and not super squishy. I used to think I liked squishy shoes, but what I actually enjoy is just a little bit of softness with a little bit of rebound and excitement underfoot. And as you might see here on the Nike Vomero 18, there's a big sign that says ZoomX. It's trying to draw us in. It's kind of, you know what, it's fake. It's not that much ZoomX in this shoe, but Nike have done a good thing at least and told us what part of it is ZoomX and what part of it is ReactX. So the Nike Vomero 18 does have that dual density foam thing going on, where that top layer of ZoomX is that little bit of squish response, and that ReactX will hopefully make it so this shoe doesn't completely burn out after 100 miles and we'll be able to use it for the long term. And of course, a daily trainer for me needs to have a pretty darn good upper. An upper that's solid, it's not slipping around, I'm not getting hot spots, I'm not getting extremely hot on my foot. There's been some daily trainers that I've just been extremely, sorry for this disgusting image, but soupy after wearing. And it's the summer months here in Halifax, we don't need any of that. So with all that in mind, can the Nike Vomero 18 hold up to the standard and make its way into my running shoe rotation? So we've been on about 3 or 4 dates together now, totaling about 30, 40 kilometers or so. And the first initial feeling is, let's talk about quickly the upper. So the upper on this guy is actually pretty darn comfortable. It has a really good lockdown. It has a pull tab, even though one of the pull tabs just completely ripped off when I was putting it on my foot one day. So kind of a durability concern there, at least in some of the materials in the upper, or the construction of the upper at least. But that's really not a big deal. What is a big deal for me is comfort, and this thing has a lot of comfort. I don't need a pull tab. Pull tabs are fine, but I don't need it right now. The lockdown on this thing is fantastic with that gusseted tongue, and the heel counter allows for a nice solid lockdown so my ankle isn't going all over the place and rubbing, which never a fun time when that happens. Now I will say I did take the shoe out in literally a torrential downpour and it did get quite soaked, so the upper did absorb a lot of that liquid. But I'm not going to knock anything against it because it did dry relatively quick by putting it under my heat pump for a night or so and maybe taking my wife's hairdryer to it for a couple of minutes. So in terms of upper concerns, I don't have any for the Vomero 18 making its way into my running shoe rotation. But the upper is only one ingredient in the running shoe recipe. We need something to pair up nicely, kind of like a fine wine and cheese, even though I don't drink, so let's use a better analogy. A beautiful cake and a nice cup of espresso. we need an upper that matches a beautiful midsole. The midsole in this thing, like I said, is a combination of ZoomX and ReactX, and when I'm out there running with it, it's actually a fantastic experience. It doesn't squish down and like make my ankle feel unstable. There's a nice wide platform, so I have a little bit of support. I don't like wearing true stability shoes, but I'm not the most stable angled person, so having a little bit of inherent stability is always a nice thing for me. The toe off and pop that I get for this darn thing, for as heavy as it is and how bulky as it might seem, is fantastic. I'd say at least 10 of the kilometers that I've spent in this thing, of the 30 to 40, have been at that faster paced effort. So for me, down to that 430 per kilometer range. And I've even taken it on hills and gravel paths and all that great stuff. And the midsole and outsole, I kind of consider them one, have been doing a great job. I can actually feel that little bit of squish and rebound from the ZoomX. It's not bouncy by any means, but it's not like I'm running on a dead piece of foam. The miles that the midsole and I have spent together so far have been just like a beautiful espresso and cake date. Perfection. Durability concerns, I'm not too concerned about the midsole durability, just because ReactX seems pretty dense and the outsole seems pretty well thought out. So hopefully the ZoomX doesn't just start to feel like a dead block after a couple of 100 miles, but I can't really predict that right now. This is just seeing if it's even going to make its way into my running shoe rotation as I train for the Valley Harvest Marathon. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to follow the progress on that one. Some pretty good content coming up, if I do say so myself. And since you're down there anyway, I'd really appreciate if you could hit the like button on this video. It takes no time and really helps out the channel. So as you're probably gathering from the tone of this video, I think it is worthy to make it into my running shoe rotation. Now, the price point, I did get it on sale. They had a Sport Check like military discount here in Canada, and I got it for 130 Canadian after tax, something like that. It is a $190 shoe regularly, and compared to some of the other shoes in this category of higher stack daily trainers, it's kind of priced right where I would expect it to be, which is not a Nike move. A lot of the time I find Nike uses their name to kind of put that little bit of extra $5-10 onto their price point, because they're gonna buy it. We're Nike, they're gonna just enjoy every little piece of it, and we're gonna get that extra money. But they didn't this time, and that's a welcome thing, especially considering I have the Brooks Glycerin Max coming for my long runs and easier days, I guess. We'll see how it feels once I get there, but the intention right now is for a non-plated long run shoe, and that was like 250 Canadian plus tax. Also got a discount on that, and it's also a birthday present, but hey, I'm not complaining. It's still coming to my door, and it's going to be a fun time testing out as well. So this is going to be sliding directly into my daily trainer spot of my running shoe rotation. Let me know, have you tried the Nike Vomero 18? Or if you haven't, what does your running shoe rotation look like right now? Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.